web. Oh, come on, we can do better than that. Hello, the next web. Well, I'm excited to be here. I'm Lee. I'm from a company called Presciense, and we are shaping a smarter world. Now, how are we doing this? By offering a end-to-end smart home platform focused on security, safety, and energy management services for our customers. Now, we might be a startup, but we've already developed all the firmware that sits on our devices, that sits in the home. We've developed our cloud management platform that has integrations so that you can extract our data, even do machine learning on that data, and our smart home apps, which are fully branded to our customers. So, now you know that we're not slept for the last sort of 12 months, neither me or anyone else from the dev team. What exactly has been at the heart of what we've been doing? Well, number one is security. You can't have a smart home application without thinking about security. And unfortunately, there's been a lot of bad press recently from some companies, big and small, that have had various different problems with authorization and authentication. So it's something that we took right from the very start as a core principle. So if you have a customer device, we use OpenID Connect to establish your identity, make sure that we know that you can access that part of your smart home. We use X509 certs to make sure that, in fact, this particular user can access or grant permissions to another user to do that particular thing. And that is our main principle. Secondly is scalability. So you don't want to be able to say, right, okay, so my smoke alarm's just gone off. I want to look at my security camera and it not be available. So we've load tested our platform up to 10 million devices and 1 billion concurrent events, which we've then queried on. We actually have a chaos monkey that runs 24 hours a day to try and find problems, stress test exactly what we have to make sure that we find our bugs and our potential problems before our customers do. Thirdly, extensibility. We've built our app in a modular way. So we're working with telcos in Europe at the moment, one in particular, to extend their existing offering with camera and smart services. We're working with a utility company in the UK to extend their non-existent presence with smart energy management and then safety services such as smart security and sensors such as smart CO2 sensors and other things. We're really excited about what we've done over the last 12 months, and I myself am very excited for the next 12 months. We love to demo things. I carry a bag around with me everywhere. Airport security love me. Come see us tomorrow. We're demoing all day.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So now we have our amazing judges. Do you guys and girl have any questions?
Hey, yeah, so thanks for taking the time to pitch. I was just wondering, like, you know, when you pitch it to consumers, is safety really their first concern? What is the first concern for a customer? Why would they sign up with you versus Wink, other smart home platforms?
Yep, totally get that. So we provide white label services to customers, and what happens is they don't know how the market's going to materialize today, which is why we have a modular-based architecture for our mobile applications. So we launch with, let's say, you're a telco with a smart router management app, and then what we do is using our modular architecture, we can push in additional features as the markets materialize in different regions. So let's say you're in Spain and the Spanish market suddenly wants security cameras. You can push that at no additional cost to your brand directly into the app through our build server via our API. So you can utilize those services, and it can be different in different regions, even for the same company. So other people don't have that flexibility. They're stuck in their vertical markets.
Great. Good answer, by the way. And of course, being a mobile company, I see that you've built everything around the home. Personally, I'm home for 10% of the time, yep, max. So why only this? You could also do bicycle stuff outside, and there's the majority of my life is playing outside of my home.
Yeah, I mean what we've done is extendable into other areas, but we've only been going about 12 months. There's only a certain amount of dev resource that we have. But the way that our MQTT architecture works means that we have lightweight protocol. We can send messages if you're at home, if you're not at home, between different devices. So in theory, yes, it could extend to cars. It could extend to some of the other things that you mentioned.
Thank you very much, Presciense. Thank you. Have you thought of, since you've load tested this, have you thought of putting a sticker on zombie apocalypse proof? Because that sounds like what you were testing for. Thank you. So our next startup is FreeLoops. Ladies and gentlemen, raise the roof for them.
My name is Iristrace. FreeLoops is the #1 source for creative video loops, royalty-free. What are video loops? Video loops are short videos that you can repeat seamlessly. For example, the flashing sign over there, or maybe the traffic in the city at night. They're a bit like GIFs or Vines, and we provide them in high quality and ready to be used in all kinds of software, on websites and in broadcasting solutions. So our users want easy access to relevant video loops so that they can work faster and make better productions. We supply them with a constantly updated library of royalty video loops that they can use. So our USP is ease of use. We have a very clear licensing model that allows our users to use the loops however they want in any kind of project at no extra costs. We have a more affordable solution than our competitors. At our website, on average, a loop will cost 4 cents, while on the big stock sites, it can be tens of dollars or even hundreds of dollars. So our model is the freemium model. We have a free plan that allows you a limited number of downloads, and we have 3 paid plans with unlimited downloads. We currently have 97,000 members, and we expect to have 100,000 members before July of this year. And for our go-to-market strategy, so far we have focused on organic search results. We hold top 3 positions in Google for relevant terms such as download video loops. And we also actively collaborate with the creative video scene around the world, and in Amsterdam in particular. We are bootstrapping, and we are interested in discussing an angel investment to finance growth. And my team consists of my co-founder Lars Berg and myself. We are longtime friends, and we met at university. And we have been we performed as live video artists on festivals around Europe for 8 years before we decided to start FreeLoops. We're exhibiting right over there in hall #1 when you leave the exit, so we're near the entrance. So we would like to invite you to come by and have a chat. Thank you.
Jury members, any questions?
Yes, you said you have around 100,000 users per today, or you hope to have in July, right?
Yeah, that's right.
How many users are you adding each month?
We had around 2,000 users each month.
Hey, you opened with saying video loops, but you only really shared with us why I would use a video loop later on when you said I was a DJ at live events. Is that the main use case of a video loop, or is it more to send to my friends? Because I'm paying for it, so I would imagine that it's more an artist, but artists are poor. So is it more of a DJ? Is it more the commercial events? What is the use case here?
It's everything you just said.
Cool.
We started when we started. We thought it would be VJs, so it would be live events. But now that's only 20% of our user base. Great example, churches in the United States use our video loops for their sing-alongs. So yeah, we didn't expect that. But also, consumers use them for YouTube channel intros. And in Holland, you have the Wereld Draait Door, which is a popular primetime talk show. And they use our video loops as backgrounds for when their bands perform.
Any more questions from the jury?
Thanks. We bought them for
That's
this.
not a question, but nice shoes indeed. Thank you very much, FreeLoops.
Thank you too.
Thank you. So our next startup is called Iristrace. Please run up here.
Good morning, everybody.
My name is Andre Kingham. I'm a co-founder and CEO of Iristrace. At Iristrace, what do? We actually provide mobile controls for consolidation analysis and remediation and make it super easy for companies to do so. We actually start where ERP, enterprise resource planning, stops, where processes get flexible and fast, where you have to change a lot, where you actually have your staff be informed quick, and you have to be able to do that as a manager, as a subject matter expert. It's in fact amazing the number of companies we still run across that outside of their ERP are still running basically on presentations and Excel spreadsheets, some of their key strategic kind of operations. And so in order to just illustrate that, let me give you a couple of examples. So we work, for instance, with the NH Hotel Group, 400 hotels, 3 stars, 4 stars, 5 stars around the world. And their management gave them the challenge of saying is we actually want to increase our client ratings. And so discovering actually the issues before they happen, before clients notice. So the quality department obviously had said, well, how do we do this with the same number of resources? And so the idea was there to say is, okay, let's use smart technology to actually make everybody part of the process of actually increasing the quality of our operations. So basically what they do is when they go around, they do the inspections themselves, and they start with the exterior, they go into the cellars, they go into the fridges, the catering, the rooms, kind of thing. And then they take a lot of photos, and they used to do all of this manually, right? So now they do it with their smartphone. And what it does is when they actually finish the inspection, that's when the actual work really used to start. And that means that basically people sit down and then start putting together the photos in PowerPoints, write reports, fill in Excel spreadsheets that they then send back to their kind of like headquarters. And so, in fact, now we're taking about 6 hours out of that process, and they're getting better quality than ever in terms of understanding what they need to remediate and how they actually do this. And maybe another example here is Carrefour. Carrefour with 147 hypermarkets, they do cash register checks, they do checks like of their promotions, etc. All of that basically through the smartphone. And in fact, it's really liberating. It's in fact, rather than who, in fact, in the audience, anybody like writing reports? Hands up if you do. It's the time to kind of like make it known to everybody. Nobody? Right. Well, that's exactly it. So as soon as it's done, you basically have the data to share, and it's no longer resting somewhere in your archives or in your email folders. So what do we do now is, in fact, we are basically expanding it. We're expanding. It's a challenge of growth. We've got a great pipeline of 2.5 million, over 70 projects. Today, we're just happy to announce that we signed with the largest manufacturer of bathroom equipment, 57 factories in the world, with Roca Sanitarios. So we're very happy to announce that. And we are headquartered in Amsterdam.
Thank you very much. That's the time. Headquarters in Amsterdam. That's Nathan's time. That's okay, that's okay.
Thanks.
So we'll stay here on stage. Don't walk away too far.
Sure.
So we have some questions from the jury. Or do we? Do we not? Yes, we do.
Thanks a lot for the pitch, actually. So you just mentioned that you already have a first client and the first market to enter. I know that the enterprise market is quite difficult to enter because they're quite stubborn with the older systems that they have, and they often already have a lot of partners that are creating their software. How do you see to enter this market, and how do you believe to be able to make a difference there?
Well, when we have a chance to kind of like get into the operations or the quality folks, they really see that the simplicity and the user adoption, the ease of use, is actually what makes a difference. It's no point having a great strategy if people are not using it out there. And so making that super simple is actually a very convincing argument. And the other part is managing the process. I've been in operations myself for over 11 years, and you spend your time chasing. And if you have the process that's really managed well for you and it's lightweight, you can just sign up and do it, rather than actually, and then deploy it to the mobiles of all these guys, it's actually really a lifesaver.
In which industries are most of your customers? Is that non-tech, tech, offline? Because I would say this is just optimizing a workflow process, which is maybe for the old industry a very helpful tool, but for the new industry, tech-driven industry, probably they develop these type of tools themselves.
So the type of applications you'll find are indeed like hotel, retail, service industries. A lot of the service providers have the challenge of proving their service levels.
And that's always a point of tension between the brand owner and the actual people doing the work. And there are a lot of examples, but where we can just say we save so much time and take uncertainty out of the negotiation. And a lot of bonuses depend on the performance. And in fact, this way you actually do it on the fly as you do the job. And it's a painless kind of exercise, and that's actually quite compelling for a lot of industries. We're not finding that industry specifically, people have more interest than other industries. It cuts across a lot of them, actually. But we have started in hotel and retail. So.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
So, up next. Ooh, don't give the microphone. Oh, yeah, you can actually give the microphone to the next speaker. Thank you very much. That works. Yeah, then I don't have to do anything anymore. Except for introduce Metafuse. Metafuse, ladies and gentlemen.
Good afternoon. My name is Madhuban Kumar. I'm the CEO and founder of Metafused. So, today, the thing that we want to talk about is basically companies struggle to make decisions from their data. It's far too slow. In fact, less than 50% of them are actually happy with the outcomes of their data. What is really interesting is, for marketing, that results across the board as a $38 billion annual loss. Companies are just overwhelmed by the amount of data that they have to process. Only about 52% really use the insights from their data. And what is interesting is that gives you the size and the scale of the opportunity. Basically, what it is that decision-making from data is far too slow. By the time the decisions are being made, the underlying premise of the data has changed. Metafused brings a solution where it basically gives cognitive analytics and to real-time decisions for businesses to make outcomes that are fast by bringing its own outputs. It does so by bringing its own data asset to clients' data and fusing it. It further injects machine learning to it. As a result, it is able to improve decision-making, but also get new opportunities. We differentiate in 3 ways. 1, our fusing technology works for a pan-European Wi-Fi retailer to provide mass insights, and we've further been able to give insights to them connecting online and offline. Secondly, decision-making. We've been able to use our natural language processing with AI to give KPI-driven automated triggers for campaigns which go into programmatic. What's key here is it's entirely non-cookie based. The third thing is that we have been able to use our open API system and take it into adjacent markets, into finance and retail. We work with data providers, we work with retailers and banks. Our team has raised $1 million of funding and $400,000 of grant money. My team comprises of Paul Maddox, who's worked in complex systems and AI, Alan Lucas, who's ex-Google. As for myself, I have worked in VCs in 3 continents, built the Barclays Oyster card, and acquired data assets for UK PLC. Thank you very much.
So, jury members, do we have any questions? Like, what does your logo look like, for example? Or something else, of course.
No questions.
I think we're a little stumped. This is great. Thanks for the pitch. So the data you guys are most effective at is kind of it's positioned behind you. But could you share a little bit more about what data your company would structure in such a way that it would provide the most value for a company? What I'm really asking is, what are the companies you are most effective with right now? What customers work best?
So companies that we work with are Experian in the UK, Barclays, and basically we work with the cloud networks across Europe. And what we do with the cloud networks, for example, is that we take their data, we fuse it with our own data asset, and we, across their retail base in real time, give them new insights that they presently don't get. In addition, we're able to connect online and offline in a very disruptive way for them. This goes and fuses and sits with their value-add services, unlocking new revenue opportunities.
And so my last question then would be is, what does the delivery look like of these insights?
These insights are actually given in a very simple way, so to the extent a business user can use it and action it. For example, in the case of the e-commerce retailer that we used there was no data scientist involved, and it was actioned in a way where even a digital agency was not needed. So that's the power of it.
Right, but that's a report, or what is the format here?
The format here is basically you get them as reports, you get them as APIs, and you also get raw data feeds depending on how it gets integrated, and for large data providers, it goes as a raw data feed.
Great, thank you.
Okay.
Great. How do you apply machine learning?
We apply machine learning in a number of areas. So basically our system, we have our own data asset. Our own data asset fuses with client's data. The moment it does that, our machine learning starts taking root. It basically starts looking for, looking for anything that it needs to analyze. So it could be in one case, for example, anomalies. Another case, it would be looking at customer segments. And over there, we would also apply machine learning to natural language processing using unsupervised algorithms, which then basically give you just a whole plethora of keywords that you wouldn't get and give you a very, very rich set of segments. So for example, for the e-commerce retailer, we were able to bring that ability out, and that ability to then fuse it with our asset and then execute it on a non-cookie based level was actually quite different. It increased their revenues by 11.5%.
Thank you very, very much, Metafused.
Thanks.
Thank you. So before we go on to our next talk, yeah, you can walk over there if you want. I'm actually interested to hear what the audience thought of the startup. So I'm just gonna pick somebody out. You, sir. What do you think?
They all sound very good. The home one sounds really good as well. And this one, I can see a lot of good uses in the enterprise environment for this company. Single source data points.
So let me see. Say that again, real quick. Cool. So I want to get you guys up on stage. Oh yes, of course. Sorry, people as a service, please come up.
Hello, I'm Rolf. I used to be the CEO of a $160 million traditional tech company. And while doing it, I had always a tendency to think a bit beyond the horizon. And one thing I realized is one of the biggest changes we see in the future will be the way we work. So I wrote 2 books about it. This is one of them. But I went more than that. I started People as a Service 2.5 years ago to realize that vision.
Hi, I'm George. I'm a decision scientist by training, so I like that last presentation. But I'm here today because I'm very passionate about solving complex problems. And naturally, I was very drawn to consulting in my life. I did some time at McKinsey. And when Rolf told me about this idea of building a company that will change the way we work, I was immediately on board. So here's what we do. You all know companies have a lot of work to get done. They don't always want to have employees to do this. For example, if my business needs a website, I may not want to hire a full-time web developer. Now, we're not the first ones to realize that, so there's a lot of portals that will give you freelancers, web developers, but they usually work like this. Hi, I need a web developer.
Here you go. There's thousands of options for you.
Thank you so much. Now I have a stack that goes from the floor to the ceiling of web developers, but I'm no expert, so I don't know how to choose the right one. I certainly don't know that the person who is number 4017 is the perfect person for my project. So People as a Service does it differently.
So we go through those. We look who is not good, who is not so capable, who doesn't do a good job, who isn't qualified, and we can offer to George the one person which is the right fit for his project. But how do we scale this? We built a machine learning algorithm which allows us to go through all those profiles, allows us to go through experiences and know who is the perfect fit. You can imagine this like if you have one person which has been part of every single project we've done, which knows every single customer we have, which has been working with every single of the over 1,000 freelancers we have on our website, and has all the understanding of the good, of the competencies, and of the not so good of the people we have, and can then make a perfect fit for those.
We've already proven that this idea works. We've vetted over 1,000 freelancers in different domains like translation, web development, social media. We filed a patent on our machine learning algorithm, We have over 100 customers that keep coming back to do more projects, and we've raised over 500,000 in capital. So now we're here because we need to scale, and we're looking for investors. So we would love it if you come visit us at the booth 28 in Hall 1 tomorrow and find out how you can help deliver the future of work today.
Thank you. You can hold on to the microphone for another second while our jury members ask you some questions.
Hi, guys. Great. I totally see this future, but one of the things that I'm curious about is, of course, there's all the things that you've done in the past, but there is people aspiring to do something more, and there's also the personal connection. And how do you, factor that into an artificial learning?
I think there's different elements, the way that the future of the company will look like. I'm not sure if the question goes in that direction. You will have a core team which is strategic, which has the core know-how, which I believe will remain part of the company. And then you complement this with, let's say, easier exchangeable, more clear or more commodity know-how, which is virtual freelancers, which to then add in. And for the virtual freelancer, that means that you will always be working where your competency lies best, and you can change projects and concepts where you want to go to. I'm not sure if that was exactly the question you had, but
it's not exactly my question, indeed. No, it's more the emotional factor within the. Well, that's one of the beautiful things that we as human beings have. We are emotional and we are creative, and that's really hard to get into a digital system.
That is very true. Are you talking about the emotional connection, for the freelancer, for the client, everyone?
Why you would like me, or maybe not the person behind me?
Poor person behind you.
Yep.
I'm not 100% sure we get your question, but I mean, if it's about the emotional connection, to find the right connection between the people to work together, it's a much different way than we worked in the past, where it was more like I go in an office 8 to 5 and sit my hours and have my colleagues around me. It's a result-based way of working. So in some cases, there's no emotional connection because it's a result I'm going to get for a specific work I'm going to do, and the emotional satisfaction is I was able to do a good job, or I got a good job done. In other areas, there's a much stronger relationship, and today technology allows us to build relationships even over long distances. You do video conferences, you do calls, you have a common goal to achieve, and you still get that emotional connection.
Thank you very much. So I really loved your presentation.